Sam North East scored a brilliant 100 to put Kent in control of their top-of-the-table LV County Championship Second Division clash with Derbyshire at Canterbury, a game which has taken on even more meaning after Yorkshire's three-day success over Glamorgan. There was little to choose between these two teams at the start of the penultimate day. Kent resumed on 59 for 3, which had given them a lead of 120. Derbyshire had pulled themselves right back into this game with 3 late wickets on the previous evening, but they were not to get another one for 39 overs as North East and Brendan Nash battled really hard through the morning. North East had started the day on 26 and after 50 minutes of concentration, he moved to his important 50. That was his 6th 4 in an innings thus far lasting 132 deliveries, but it was only the start of a high-class innings from the 22-year-old. Derbyshire were not happy in the morning after being told that James Treadwell was going to join Kent for the rest of this match on a spinner-friendly surface. England's big defeat at the hands of South Africa on Wednesday night had seen those in charge reverse a decision which had initially prevented Treadwell from playing any part in this game. Whether that had an effect on their performance in the morning, only Derbyshire will know, but it certainly didn't concern the two batsmen who played with a grit and determination which their coach Jimmy Adams would have been proud of. From a tough place at the start, this pair batted into the afternoon, eventually taking their partnership to 137. It was finally ended by David Wainwright as Nash tried to paddle but top-edged the ball into the hands of Tom Poynton to go for 62, which had been made in just under 2.5 hours. North East didn't give his wicket away though, and a single off Wainwright took him to his superb century, the 6th of his career, off his 224th ball. To show just how carefully he'd batted, that had only included 8 fours. A good crowd at Canterbury applauded him warmly, and they were right to do so. He did open up a little after getting to 3 figures. He swept West Durston for 1-6, and later added another off Wainwright as the lead for Kent began to build very nicely as far as they were concerned. North East found another willing partner in Mike Powell, who also eased the ball over the ropes as Kent began to pick up the pace. North East though was the star, a young player of great promise. He picked the ideal time to show what he's capable of, and a flicked 4 through mid-wicket off Mark Turner now carried him to his 150. It had been an immense performance for the opener, who'd taken his side from a sticky situation to one of control. His partnership with Powell was another to reach 3 figures. The wickets on the previous evening had suggested that the ball was going to turn plenty, but the pitch instead played very well, and both North East and Powell made the most of it, as they now took the total to 319 and the lead to an imposing 380. North East had just moved into his 7th hour at the crease when his brilliance was ended by Ross Whiteley as the batsman flung the bat and was caught at third man by Usman Khawaja. It led to an interesting celebration from the bowler. Powell's efforts were rewarded with a 50 of his own. He'd required 103 balls for his, from which he'd hit 4 fours and 1 6. He may have just taken the game out of reach of the long-time second division leaders. Darren Stevens had to wait to face his first ball, and when he did, he became the latest man to be brilliantly held by Durston, who could easily have a number of his catches this summer in a top 10 list. With a declaration now imminent, Geraint Jones and Matt Coles were run out. Powell was left on 56 as Rob Key called them in on 342 for 8, which gave Derbyshire a minimum of 113 overs to chase down 404. If they were not happy about Treadwell's inclusion, then they would have been even less pleased when he clung on to a parry from Stevens, which removed Wayne Madsen to the 4th ball of the innings. With 16 overs still to go, Kent had the chance to close in on a win, which would put them only 6 points behind Derbyshire, whose lead at the top had already been cut to just a single point by Yorkshire's win over Glamorgan. A draw would do the visitors no harm at all, and Paul Borrington and Khawaja mostly blocked their way to the close. So we have a crucial final day for these two sides. Derbyshire will resume on the last morning on 30 for 1, still 374 runs shy of their target. To get there would be amazing, but to survive the day will certainly do, as that would mean that they would only need 3 points from their final match to earn the promotion they crave.